Are you ready to test your detective and survival skills? These riddles will help you develop problem-solving abilities and become more inventive. You get 1 point for each cracked case. Let's see your results at the end. Maybe you'll win a special prize. Mysterious disappearance. Sarah went out one night and left Amy sleeping on the couch. When she returned, Amy was gone, but her phone was on the couch. The last number dialed was 6-444-5533. Sarah suspected 3 people who could be behind Amy's disappearance: Amy's cousin Tina, their neighbor Mike, and Amy's brother Luke. When the police showed up, they analyzed the phone number and found out who was the organizer. You've got 7 seconds to figure it out. It was Mike. Amy used the T9 writing keyboard. It means she had to press each number a few times to get the letter. The numbers make up the word Mike. A stranded sailor. Oliver was sailing his yacht when something went wrong. His ship sank in the middle of the ocean. After swimming for hours, the man woke up on a deserted island. After looking around, he saw 2 men. Well, it wasn't so deserted, was it? They were islanders who wanted to keep Oliver locked in one of the caves on the island. Oliver agreed, but asked them to grant him one last wish. When he told the men what he wanted, they set him free. What was his wish? He said, "I agree, but only the smartest can lock me there." A happy couple. Susie and Jason had been married for 10 years. One day, Susie went on a business trip. She had to stay away from home for 2 days. As soon as the woman came back, Jason realized something was wrong. The woman hugging him wasn't his wife. How did he know? Susie always wore her wedding ring, and the woman who pretended to be her didn't have one. There was no tan line in its place either. Or it really was Susie, but she came back after getting a nose job, using her wedding ring to pay for it. Could be. A ski resort. Katie, a private investigator, decided to have a vacation at a ski resort in France. While she was waiting in the lobby, the hotel manager announced he was looking for some translators. He needed help with important documents. He wanted people who spoke in different languages. Katie offered to help with the hiring process. Maya said she was living in Germany and knew the German language. Rob said he once lived in Singapore and was fluent in Mandarin. John said he had spent a decade in Brazil and spoke Brazilian. Katie immediately told the clerk that one of the applicants was lying. Can you figure out who it was? It was John. They speak Portuguese in Brazil when they're not talking soccer. What happened to Archie? One day, Detective Bob received a call from his friend Samantha. She told him she had been out shopping for food, but when she came home, her husband, Archie, was on the floor, unconscious. The detective had 3 suspects in the house. The cook said he had been in the kitchen all day. The security guard explained he had spent all morning cleaning the swimming pool area. The maid told the detective she had been tidying the messy living room all day. That's when Bob knew who was behind the accident. You have 7 seconds to figure it out. It was the security guard. Cleaning swimming pools doesn't sound like something a security guard would be hired to do. Who has more chances to survive? Lisa and Olivia managed to escape from a sinking ship. Lisa was dragged away by a powerful current and woke up on an island. Olivia was still floating in a lifeboat, but she was extremely thirsty. Which of the 2 will survive longer? You have 7 seconds to decide. It'll be Lisa. The water she has will keep her going a little bit longer. Olivia can't drink ocean water because the amount of salt in it is dangerous for people. Don't feel bad for Olivia though. The Titanic will be along shortly to pick her up. Uh-oh. A lost guitarist. Lisa was a successful guitar player in a rock band. On Friday, they were having their third big gig, and the band was waiting for her. But she was nowhere to be found. Finally, the girl showed up. But it wasn't Lisa. It was her twin sister, Sarah. She locked her sibling in the basement, took her clothes and the guitar, and got ready to pose as a band member. But as soon as the team saw Sarah, they immediately knew she wasn't Lisa. How did they know? You need short fingernails to play the guitar. Sarah had long nails, but apparently she didn't fret about it. Where did they hide the money? Josh and Amy, a married couple, were computer experts. One night, they logged into a bank system and took the money from all the clients' savings accounts. Bad Josh and Amy. After that, they withdrew all the money and fled to a small village. They bought all the houses in the area and told the villagers to stay in only the large hotel in the neighborhood. When the police found out about it, they checked all the houses, and still they couldn't find the remaining cash the couple had taken. Why? You have 7 seconds to figure it out. Josh and Amy hid the money in the hotel and used the houses as a distraction. A hotel safe. Police officer James was called into a small hotel to investigate a mysterious jewelry disappearance. Emily checked in the night before and put all her expensive diamonds in her hotel room safe. After she came back from lunch the next day, the jewelry was gone. Surprise, surprise. James had 3 suspects. The receptionist said she had been out on her lunch break. The maid said another guest had checked out earlier that day and she had been cleaning their room. Susan, another hotel guest, said that she had just woken up. She was sleeping the whole morning because she had been at a party the night before. One of them is lying. Can you guess who it is? It's Susan. She said she had just woken up, but the maid had already made her bed. Oh, Susan! Who took the statue? Mrs. Ruth called the police to report someone had taken her husband's expensive statue. She was washing her hair in the shower when she heard footsteps downstairs. She went down to investigate and found the statue gone. The detective knew Mrs. Ruth was lying right away. How did he figure it out? Mrs. Ruth couldn't hear footsteps while washing her hair in the shower. Unless maybe it was Shrek or something. A dangerous river. Michael and David were surfing the internet one evening. Do people still do that? Anyway, suddenly they came across an article that claimed their local river was very mysterious. People disappeared in it without a trace. The 2 friends were intrigued and decided to investigate. The next day, they went to the river. Michael went into the water. He wanted to dive and explore the bottom, but a very strong current dragged him away. What should he do to survive? Swim against the current? Go with the flow? Swim toward the shore and try to get out? You have 7 seconds to save Michael. The best option is to swim toward the shore. As the current drags him, he can either anchor himself or get out of the water. 3 doors. Brian was going home from work when he heard his neighbor shouting for help. He rushed in. The voice was coming from a basement. As soon as he entered, the door closed behind him. Brian saw his neighbor in a lab coat. The man turned out to be a mad scientist. The only way out was through solving a riddle. Of course. If Brian doesn't crack it, he'll stay trapped in the basement and have to watch 24-hour news. 3 metal doors appeared in front of him. The first one was scorching hot. If Brian touched it, he'd burn himself. The second one was coated with acid that could eat through anything except metal. The third one was electrified. Which door should he pick? The third one. Brian was wearing rubber boots, and rubber doesn't conduct electricity. The only thing he had to do was push the door with his foot. And now, your long-awaited results. If you got 1 to 4 points, you need to get more creative and use your analytical skills. If your result is 5 to 9 points, well, you should pay more attention to details. It'll help you both to survive in extreme situations and understand when people lie to you. For those who crack 10 to 13 riddles, you're a true survival expert. Congrats! You win lunch with the brightside dolphin. Hey, don't get carried away, it's just lunch.